Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy coming at you with a quick video. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a contest entry for Craig Danger from Vinyl Record Player, who is celebrating his 3rd year anniversary in the VC. So he's hosting a contest just to celebrate that. And as he puts it, he is going to give the winner $100 of his money so that you can use it to buy CD or some kind of music. I think maybe through Amazon or whatever it is. Anyway, he's going to give $100 of his own money to the winner of his contest. So the entry requirements are quite simple. You mention his name in your video. Well, here we go. Craig Danger, congratulations on your 3 years in the VC. Secondly, you must mention him in your video with either the @ sign so that he knows that you have done your response. So you can either mention it to him in his original video in the comments section. So I'll leave that link down below to the original contest entry video, or you can just, like I said, you can just use the @ sign and mention him as part of your video. So those are the first two requirements. Say his name, mention him, let him know. And then thirdly, you are to show 4 records that you bought as 3 to 5 records that you bought as blind buys, of which of those, which ones were successes. You're supposed to show. So in my case, I think I'm going to show 5 records here. 4 of them were successes. I was pleasantly surprised. And then he also wants you to show 1 record that you got as a blind buy that was just not a success. You just don't understand it. You don't get it. You didn't like it. Maybe you were going to, I don't know, give it away, sell it on eBay, whatever you want to do. But successful blind buys, 1 unsuccessful. So here we go. I don't want to ramble on too much. We are going to start with my successes. So first and foremost, we're going to go with Gary Myrick and the Figures. He's a singer-songwriter, 1980s. I would say that this is more like new wavy, synthy kind of music. I was pleasantly surprised. I don't want to say that it's like the Cars or anything like that, because it's not the Cars, but I guess it fits around that particular genre. And this is the Living in a Movie album. I believe that there was I think Romance on side A. I'm Not a Number is a good song. Penetrate My Heart. Romance. I think Romance was the single. For some reason, I've heard that song before, but I don't necessarily remember the rest of this guy's ordeal. After researching them, I believe that they put out 2 albums in the early 80s, and then I think they did an EP. And then Gary Myrick went on to kind of do his own solo stuff. He is also like I said, singer-songwriter. He's worked with some big names, most particularly John Waite from the Babies, and then John Waite did his own solo stuff, and then of course he was in Bad English and things like that. But anyway, Gary Myrick did some guitar playing and some songwriting with him and things like that. So yeah, Gary Myrick and the Figures, that was new to me. Picked it up as a blind buy, got it for like $1. And it was in pretty much it was in near mint condition. It's not a VG. That one's a near mint condition. There are no scuffs, no nothing on it. So excellent condition. I would say that whoever owned it before probably played it maybe once or twice, and that was the end of that. All right, up next, we have a famous English musician, of which I only ever knew 1 song by him. So I bought this as a blind buy for the song itself, but not the album. But I think that this album is absolutely fantastic, and that is Chris Ria's Road to Hell album. And of course, he is best known for his single Road to Hell Part 2. And as you can see on side 1, Part 1 and Part 2 go back to back. And this is just some really cool artwork that's on here. But this is a rockin' album. I mean, this isn't bluesy. This is more pop rock, or I'm not going to say hard rock or classic rock, but it definitely fits that genre of pop rock, 1980s. This is 1989. But everything on here, Looking for a Rainbow is a cool song. You Must Be Evil is a cool song. And then, of course, side 2, Your Warm and Tender Love, Daytona. That's what they always say. They're just good, grooving music, listen to it in your car type thing. My personal favorite still is Road to Hell Part 2. Fantastic track, but give this one a listen to if you are not familiar with Chris Rea. All right. Next, but certainly not least, this is an album that I had heard about, and I'm definitely familiar with this particular artist because I am a completionist of his. Good old Canadian musician, but I got this as a blind thing. I got this for free. I got it out of just a bin. But then a few months back, Joe from Anavi, Eraser Records, sent me some VCLT, and I ended up getting a second copy of this, of which that copy that Joe sent me is in much better condition than this one. And that is Gino Vanelli's Storm at Sunup. So as you can see, I got this from the radio station that I got it as a blind because I'd never heard the album. Now, I definitely heard lots of Gino Vanelli albums, but not this one. And this one is more of, he fits the bill of electronic jazz, soft pop, not straight up jazz though. But this is really good stuff. I would almost say that it's even lounge music or mall music to a degree, but I think it's great stuff. Fits in with all of his quirkiness. Of course, Gino Vanelli out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And so I don't think that there was any major singles on this. But the title track, Storm at Sunup, is a great track. Mama Coco is a cool song. But to me, the quirkiest song that is on this is the last track on side 2, which is called Getting High. But it's not about doing drugs. It's just about being high on life. The lyrics say, I don't care much for smoking weed. I don't thrive on drinking alcohol. Feeling too tall. I don't mean getting stoned. But basically, getting high meaning, getting high on life in this case. So really quirky. Gino Vanelli, Storm at Sunup. If you haven't heard that one and you're kind of into, I guess, electronic jazz, that one might be for you. And then my final pick for blind buys that were successes. I was at a market this past summer in Grand Bend, Ontario, Canada. And I was looking for a band from Africa called Asabisa. And I do have some Asabisa, but I wasn't able to find any Asabisa. So the vendor that I bought this from was like, hey, if you like Asabisa and you like music from Africa, you might dig these guys. And that is a band called Jaluka. And this is their album Scatterlings. I ended up buying a second one, not Scatterlings, but a second album of theirs. This one was released in 1982. The way that I can kind of explain this is if you like Paul Simon, If You Call Me Al, I forget the name of that album, Graceland, I think it's called. Anyway, if you like Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes, that style of, African music, world music, folk music, then you might dig this. And this is some really good stuff. Scatterlings of Africa, Spirit is the Journey, Digging for Some Words, Umbakanga music. These are just really cool tracks, and of course I think the artwork on the front is really neat stuff. So yeah, if you like folk and you like world music, you might dig this. Now, last but not least, I talked about Gary Myrick at the beginning, and that was a success. Well, I bought this album here, and I've talked about this before on our Northern Revolutions Wednesday night show, that this one's it's one that I just haven't been able to figure out. I haven't been able to get into it. I think that was our show last week. It was just albums that we just can't figure out. And that is Redbird Country by David Essig. David Essig is a folk songwriter. I would put it as more Americana music, but maybe with a Canadian twist. But he's an American musician from, I think it was Massachusetts. And then in the 1970s, he immigrated to Canada. And while he was living on the east coast of Canada, he even started his own record label. which is this one here, Woodshed label. And this is as Americana as it's going to get. I just have a real hard time with this one. It's just too much for me, kind of twangy and stuff like that. Here's the backside, and of course, there's David Essig there. You know, the old account, Falling, Candyman, Flo's Cafe. There's a song on side 2 called The New 8th of January, which is an instrumental, pretty much. I don't mind that one because it's instrumental, but I thought that it was a really cool looking picture on the front, but I just haven't been able to jive or figure this one out. Maybe a few more listens. I finally will. I've never been able to get through this album in one sitting. I've had to listen to 2 to 3 songs at a time. Side 2, you know, same thing. I've never been able to listen to it in full and its full encounter in one setting. So there we go. Craig, I hope that you liked these 5 picks. 4 that were successful blind buys, 1 that definitely was not. I don't give too many of my records away or bring them to you know, thrift stores and stuff like that. So I'll probably end up keeping David Essig, and hopefully one day I will get into it. So there you go. If you like this contest suggestion, check out Craig's channel. I'll leave the link down below, like I said. Participate in the contest, or don't, and then, you know, make it easier for me to win the contest. I'm just kidding. But give it a shot. Check it out. What blind buys have you purchased that were successful? Which ones have been busts? Let me know down in the comments. Let Craig know. Subscribe to his channel. And we'll see you on the next one.